But James, if our parents are together, that makes us siblings. It means we can be together. She cried, her heart breaking at the thought of losing him. James gently wiped away her tears, his heart aching at the pain in her eyes. I know, Emma, but love will always find a way. We'll figure this out together. I promise. Once upon a time, in the bustling halls of the university, James was a final year student of theatre arts. He loved acting, and his passion for it shone through every performance. With his charming smile and lively energy, James was a favorite among his classmates and professors alike. But behind his confident facade, James carried the warmth of his father's love in his heart. Benjamin had been both mother and father to James since his beloved wife passed away years ago. Together, they created a bond stronger than any hardship life could throw at them. James cherished every moment spent with his father, soaking in his wisdom and guidance. Benjamin, in turn, showered James with all the love and care a parent could give. They were inseparable, their bond unbreakable. As James grew older, the time came for him to pursue his dreams at a university far from home. Benjamin's heart ached at the thought of his son leaving, but he knew it was necessary for James to spread his wings and chase his aspirations. With a heavy heart, Benjamin bid farewell to his son, knowing that their bond would remain unbroken despite the distance. And so, James embarked on his journey, leaving behind the comfort of home for the excitement of university life. Despite the new challenges and experiences that awaited him, James remained rooted in the values instilled by his father. He worked tirelessly, honing his craft and striving for excellence in every endeavor. Back home, Benjamin missed his son, yet he took solace in the knowledge that James was following his dreams and making him proud. He eagerly awaited James' return during holidays, cherishing every moment spent together as a family. One evening, as James prepared for an upcoming performance, he received a call from his father. "Hello, Dad," James greeted warmly, his heart swelling with love at the sound of his father's voice. "James, my boy," Benjamin replied, his tone filled with affection. "I just wanted to wish you luck for your performance tomorrow. I know you will knock them dead." A smile spread across James' face as he felt a surge of gratitude for his father's unwavering support. "Thanks, Dad. I will do my best," he said, his voice brimming with determination. As they exchanged words of encouragement, James couldn't help but feel a pang of homesickness. He longed for the familiar embrace of his father, the comforting presence that had guided him through life's ups and downs. But amidst the struggle, James found strength in his father's words, knowing that he carried Benjamin's love with him wherever he went. With renewed determination, James vowed to give his all in the upcoming performance, dedicating it to the man who had always believed in him. As the night wore on, James immersed himself in rehearsal, pouring his heart and soul into each line and movement. With every step he took on stage, he felt his father's spirit cheering him on from afar, filling him with a sense of purpose and belonging. And when the curtain finally rose on the day of the performance, James dazzled the audience with his talent and passion, leaving them spellbound by his performance. As he took his final bow, a wave of emotion washed over him, knowing that his father's love had been his guiding light every step of the way. Back home, Benjamin listened to the cheers and applause echoing through the phone, his heart swelling with pride at his son's accomplishments. "Well done, James," he whispered to himself, his eyes shining with tears of joy. And as the night drew to a close, father and son exchanged one last heartfelt conversation, their bond stronger than ever, despite the miles that separated them. For in the end, it was the love they shared that transcended all barriers, lighting the way for James to chase his dreams and soar to new heights. In the same school, alongside James, there was another student named Emma. She was in her final year, studying law. Emma had a fiery spirit and a determination matched only by her dedication to her studies. Growing up, Emma had been raised only by her mother, Evelyn. Her father was absent from her life, a figure shrouded in mystery. But Evelyn never let Emma feel the absence, showering her with love and providing her with the best life possible. Evelyn was a hard-working woman, running her own makeup brand while balancing the responsibility of motherhood. Despite the challenges she faced, Evelyn remained steadfast in her devotion to Emma, guiding her with love and wisdom every step of the way. As Emma embarked on her journey through university, Evelyn decided to move closer to her office, seeking a more convenient location for her work. She found a cozy apartment in the area and excitedly informed Emma of the news. "Guess what, sweetheart? We are moving to a new place closer to my office," Evelyn announced, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Emma's face lit up with joy at the news. "That's amazing, Mom. I'm so happy for you," she exclaimed. With their bond stronger than ever, Emma continued to excel in her studies, driven by her mother's unwavering support and belief in her abilities. Despite living in the school hostel, Emma made sure to visit Evelyn during breaks, cherishing every moment spent together as mother and daughter. One sunny afternoon, as Emma sat in the library, poring over her textbooks, she received a call from Evelyn. "Hi, Mom," Emma answered cheerfully, her heart fluttering with anticipation at the sound of her mother's voice. "Emma, darling, I have some exciting news to share," Evelyn began, her tone filled with excitement. Emma's curiosity piqued. She eagerly listened as Evelyn revealed her plans for expanding her makeup brand. "I have been offered the opportunity to collaborate with a renowned cosmetic company. It's a dream come true, sweetheart," Evelyn exclaimed, her voice brimming with pride. Emma couldn't contain her excitement at the news. "Mom, that's incredible. I'm so proud of you," she gushed, her heart swelling with admiration for her mother's resilience and determination. As they chatted about Evelyn's latest venture, Emma couldn't help but feel a surge of gratitude for the sacrifices her mother had made to provide her with the best opportunities in life. She vowed to work even harder, determined to make her mother proud with her achievements. With each passing day, Emma's bond with Evelyn grew stronger, their love for each other unbreakable despite the challenges they faced. And as they navigated the ups and downs of life together, mother and daughter remained steadfast in their commitment to each other. Their bond serving as a beacon of hope and strength in a world filled with uncertainties. As the semester progressed, Emma found herself facing new challenges and opportunities, each one shaping her into the person she was destined to become. And through it all, Evelyn stood by her side, a pillar of strength and support, guiding her with love and wisdom every step of the way. Amidst the whirlwind of classes and exams, Emma found solace in the friendship of her roommate Rita. They had been inseparable since their first year, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. Rita hailed from a wealthy family, her every whim catered to without hesitation. She lived a life of luxury, surrounded by opulence and extravagance. Despite their differences in upbringing, Rita and Emma shared a deep friendship built on trust and mutual respect. One sunny afternoon, as Emma sat in their room, buried in textbooks, Rita burst through the door with excitement sparkling in her eyes. Emma, guess what? My friend is throwing a birthday party tonight and he invited us. You have to come. It will be so much fun. Rita exclaimed, her voice brimming with enthusiasm. Emma hesitated, her mind already focused on her studies. I don't know, Rita. I have a lot of work to catch up on, she replied, her brow furrowing with worry. But Rita wouldn't take no for an answer. Oh, come on, Emma. You work so hard all the time. You deserve to let loose and have some fun for once, she urged, her pleading eyes softening Emma's resolve. Reluctantly, Emma agreed, knowing that Rita wouldn't let up until she gave in. With a resigned sigh, she began to prepare for the evening ahead, the promise of laughter pulling her out of her books and into the excitement of the night. As they arrived at the party, Emma felt a wave of nervousness wash over her. The loud music and flashing lights filled the air, a stark contrast to the quiet solitude of her usual study sessions. But with Rita by her side, Emma pushed aside her apprehensions and dove headfirst into the festivities. They danced and laughed, immersing themselves in the joyous atmosphere of the celebration. And amidst the chaos, Emma found herself drawn to a familiar face across the room. It was James, the handsome theatre art student she had seen around campus. As James approached them with a warm smile, Rita wasted no time in introducing them. Emma, this is James. He's the birthday boy. Rita exclaimed, her voice tinged with excitement. Emma returned James' smile, feeling a flutter of butterflies in her stomach at the sight of his charming grin. Nice to meet you, James, she replied, her cheeks flushing with warmth. James' eyes sparkled with amusement as he leaned in closer. I'm glad you could make it, Emma. You look stunning tonight, he said, his voice smooth like honey. Emma felt her heart skip a beat at his words, a blush creeping up her cheeks. Thank you, James. That's very kind of you, she murmured, her gaze flickering nervously between him and Rita. As the night wore on, James and Emma found themselves engrossed in conversation, their laughter mingling with the music and laughter of the crowd. And as the party reached its crescendo, James took a bold step forward, his eyes locking with Emma's in silent invitation. Emma, would you mind if I ask for your number? I would love to get to know you better, James asked, his tone earnest and sincere. Emma's heart raced at the question, torn between the thrill of the moment and the caution instilled by her mother's teachings. I'm sorry, James. I don't usually give my number to strangers, she replied, her voice tinged with regret. But James wasn't deterred by her refusal. Instead, he flashed her a charming smile, his eyes sparkling with mischief. Fair enough. How about this? I promise not to bombard you with calls and messages. Let's exchange numbers the next time we meet, he suggested, his tone laced with hope. Emma couldn't help but smile at his persistence, her resolve weakening in the face of his undeniable charm. Okay, James, you have got yourself a deal, she said, her heart fluttering with anticipation at the prospect of their next encounter. As the party came to a close and Emma bid farewell to James, she couldn't shake the feeling of excitement coursing through her veins. The following day at school, James eagerly awaited outside Emma's department after his lectures. When Emma and Rita emerged from the classroom, they were surprised to see James waiting for them. Hey, Emma, James greeted with a warm smile. I thought I would wait for you after class. I hope that's okay. Emma raised an eyebrow, teasingly. Are you stalking me now, James? She joked, her lips curling into a playful grin. James chuckled, shaking his head. No way. I just thought it would be nice to walk home together, he replied, his eyes twinkling with amusement. With Rita tagging along, they walked together, engaging in light-hearted banter and laughter along the way. As they strolled through the campus grounds, James and Emma found themselves lost in conversation, their laughter mingling with the gentle breeze. As the days passed, James and Emma's friendship blossomed, fueled by their shared interest and mutual admiration for each other. They spent countless hours together, sharing their hopes, dreams, and aspirations with each other. James found himself drawn to Emma's intelligence and wit, while Emma admired James' passion for his craft and his unwavering determination. They quickly became inseparable, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. One sunny afternoon, as they sat beneath a sprawling tree on campus, James mustered the courage to take their relationship to the next level. With a nervous smile, he turned to Emma and poured his heart out. Emma, there is something I've been willing to tell you, James began, his voice tinged with anticipation. Emma looked at him, her heart fluttering with excitement. What is it, James? She asked, her eyes filled with curiosity. James took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts before speaking. I was wondering if you would like to go out with me, like on a date, he asked, his gaze fixed on her expectantly. Emma felt a rush of warmth flood her cheeks as she met James' gaze. Yes, James, I would love to go out with you, she replied, her heart soaring with happiness. And so, their love story began, blossoming into a beautiful romance filled with laughter, joy, and countless shared moments. They went on adventures together, exploring the city hand in hand, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. Meanwhile, James couldn't wait to share the news of his newfound love with his father Benjamin. He eagerly dialed his father's number, his heart pounding with excitement as he waited for him to pick up. Dad, I have something important to tell you, James began, his voice brimming with enthusiasm. I met someone special. Her name is Emma, and she's amazing. Benjamin listened intently, his heart swelling with happiness at his son's news. That's wonderful, James. I'm so happy for you, he exclaimed, his voice filled with pride. And on the other end of the line, Emma couldn't wait to share her own news with her mother, Evelyn. With a smile on her face, she dialed her mother's number, her heart overflowing with joy at the thought of sharing her happiness with her. Mom, I have something to tell you, Emma began, her voice tinged with excitement. I met someone special. His name is James, and he is incredible. Evelyn's eyes lit up with joy at her daughter's words. That's fantastic news, sweetheart. I can't wait to meet him, she exclaimed, her voice filled with love and happiness. And so, as James and Emma's love story unfolded, their families embraced their newfound happiness, showering them with love and support every step of the way. Life at Benjamin's house was filled with warmth and laughter, the bond between father and son stronger than ever. But one fateful day, as Benjamin drove to work, his path crossed with that of a woman in need. As Benjamin spotted the woman by the roadside, struggling to fix her car, he couldn't help but stop to offer his assistance. Is everything alright? Do you need help? Benjamin asked, concern etched on his face. The woman, whose name was Evelyn, looked up with gratitude shining in her eyes. I'm not sure what's wrong with my car. It's just suddenly stopped, she explained, her voice tinged with frustration. Benjamin nodded understandably, his mind already racing with solutions. Let me take a look. Perhaps I can help, he offered, his hands deftly examining the engine. After some time, Benjamin realized that the car needed professional attention. I think it's best if I call my mechanic to come and take a look, he suggested, turning to Evelyn with a reassuring smile. Evelyn breathed a sign of relief, grateful for Benjamin's kindness. Thank you so much for your help. You are a lifesaver, she exclaimed, her heart filled with gratitude. As they waited for the mechanic to arrive, Benjamin and Evelyn struck up a conversation, exchanging stories and getting to know each other better. Despite their initial encounter being a result of car trouble, they found themselves drawn to each other's company, their bond growing stronger with each passing moment. Benjamin was captivated by Evelyn's warmth and kindness, while Evelyn found solace in Benjamin's gentle demeanor and unwavering support. They shared stories about their pasts, their hopes and dreams for the future, finding comfort in each other's presence. As days turned into weeks, Benjamin and Evelyn's friendship blossomed into something more. Benjamin took Evelyn out on dinners, showered her with gifts, and made her feel cherished and loved in every way possible. And one fateful day, as they sat beneath the stars, Benjamin found himself unable to contain his feelings any longer. With a nervous smile, he poured his heart out to Evelyn, confessing his love for her. Evelyn, I've never felt this way about anyone else since my wife passed away. You have brought so much joy and happiness into my life. and I can't imagine a future without you," Benjamin said, his voice filled with emotion. Evelyn's heart swelled with love at Benjamin's words, her eyes shimmering with tears of joy. "Benjamin, I feel the same way about you. You have become such an important part of my life, and I can't imagine it without you," she replied, her voice filled with love. With their hearts overflowing with love, Benjamin and Evelyn agreed to take things slow, savoring every moment they shared together. They vowed to be honest with each other and to always prioritize their happiness and well being. They also decided to take things easy and also find a way to tell their children about their affairs. As the days passed, Evelyn found herself filled with nervous excitement as she prepared to share her newfound happiness with her daughter Emma. With a deep breath, she dialed Emma's number, her heart pounding with anticipation. "Hi, Mom, what's up?" Emma answered, her voice echoing with warmth and affection. Evelyn took a moment to gather her thoughts before speaking. "Emma, there is something I need to tell you," she began, her voice tinged with excitement. Emma's curiosity was piqued. "What is it, Mom? Is everything okay?" she asked. Evelyn took a deep breath, her heart racing with anticipation. "I met someone, Emma. His name is Benjamin, and he's wonderful," she confessed, her voice trembling with emotion. Emma's eyes widened with surprise at her mother's revelation. "Wow, Mom, that's an amazing news. I'm so happy for you," she exclaimed, her heart swelling with joy for her mother's newfound happiness. Evelyn smiled, feeling a weight lift off her shoulder as she shared her happiness with her daughter. "Thank you, sweetheart. Your support means the world to me," she replied, her voice filled with gratitude. Meanwhile, Benjamin couldn't wait to share the news of his budding romance with his son, James. With a smile on his face, he called James' number, his heart brimming with excitement. "Hey, Dad, what's going on?" James answered, his voice filled with warmth and affection. Benjamin took a deep breath, his heart pounding with anticipation. "James, I have some news to share with you. I have met someone special, and her name is Evelyn. She's an amazing woman," he confessed, his voice tinged with excitement. Jim's eyes widened with surprise at his father's revelation. "Wow, Dad, that's fantastic news. I'm so happy for you," he exclaimed, his heart swelling with joy for his father's newfound happiness. Benjamin smiled, feeling a surge of gratitude for his son's support. "Thank you, James. Your happiness means everything to me," he replied, his voice filled with love and appreciation. With their children's blessings, Benjamin and Evelyn's love continued to blossom, each passing day bringing them closer together. They shared stories, laughters, and dreams for the future, cherishing every moment they spent in each other's company. Meanwhile, Emma and James' love for each other continued to flourish, their bond growing stronger each passing day. They eagerly awaited the end of their exams, counting down the days until they could return home to their parents. Finally, the day of their exams arrived, and Emma and James gave it their all, pouring their hearts and souls into each question and answer. And when the exams were over, they packed their bags and began to prepare their journey back home. The day of their journey back home had finally arrived, and Emma and James set off together in James' car, their hearts filled with anticipation for the reunion awaiting them. As they drove, They shared stories and laughter. The excitement of seeing their parents and loved ones palpable in the air. Upon reaching their apartment, James accompanied Emma to the door, eager to meet her mother, Evelyn. Little did he know that Evelyn was already someone very special to his own father, Benjamin. As Emma introduced James to her mother, Evelyn welcomed him with open arms, her heart filled with gratitude for the care and friendship he had shown her daughter. It's a pleasure to meet you, James. Thank you for taking care of Emma, Evelyn said, her voice filled with warmth and sincerity. James smiled, feeling a wave of relief wash over him at Evelyn's kind words. Likewise, Mrs. Evelyn, Emma speaks highly of you, he replied, his voice tinged with respect. After exchanging pleasantries, James bid farewell to Emma and Evelyn, promising to visit again soon. Little did he know their paths would cross again sooner than expected under surprising circumstances. As James arrived home, he was greeted with open arms by his father Benjamin. Welcome home, son. It's good to see you again, Benjamin exclaimed, his eyes shining with happiness. James couldn't help but notice the twinkle in his father's eyes, teasing him playfully. Dad, you are positively glowing. Is there something you are not telling me? He joked, his voice filled with laughter. Benjamin chuckled, unable to contain his excitement. Well, as a matter of fact, there is. It's Evelyn, the woman I told you about. She is special and incredible. He confessed, his heart brimming with joy. James' eyes widened with surprise at his father's revelation. That's amazing, Dad. I'm so happy for you, he exclaimed, his heart swelling with joy for his father's newfound happiness. As they settled into their home, Benjamin gisted James about Evelyn, describing her beauty and grace with fondness. James couldn't wait to meet the woman who had captured his father's heart, eager to see for himself the happiness she had brought into their lives. Meanwhile, Evelyn and Benjamin had arranged a dinner the next day to introduce his son to Evelyn. Emma and Evelyn eagerly prepared for the dinner at Benjamin's house, their hearts filled with anticipation and nervous excitement. As they drove to Benjamin's house, Emma couldn't help but pray that Benjamin was as kind and loving as her mother has described him. As Evelyn and Emma drove into the compound, they were greeted by Benjamin's warm embrace. Evelyn beamed with happiness as she introduced Emma to Benjamin, her heart swelling with pride at the sight of her daughter. Benjamin, this is Emma, my daughter, Evelyn said, her voice filled with affection. Benjamin's eyes lit up with delight as he extended his hand to Emma. It's a pleasure to meet you, Emma. Your mother has spoken so highly of you, he said, his smile warm and genuine. Emma returned Benjamin's smile, feeling a surge of warmth at his kind words. Likewise you, Mr. Benjamin. It's nice to meet you too, sir, she replied, her voice tinged with excitement. But as they exchanged pleasantries, their joyful reunion was interrupted by the sudden appearance of James, who emerged from the house with a puzzled expression on his face. Hey Dad, what's going on? James asked, confusion evident in his voice. Evelyn's heart skipped a beat as she turned to Benjamin, her mind racing with apprehension. James, is he your father? She asked, her voice trembling with uncertainty. James nodded slowly, his brow furrowing with confusion. Yes, Evelyn, he's my father, he replied, his voice tinged with concern. Emma's eyes widened with shock as the pieces of the puzzle fell into place. Wait, so James is your son, Mr. Benjamin? she asked, her voice tinged with disbelief. Evelyn's heart sank as she realized the gravity of the situation. If James was Benjamin's son, that meant Emma and James were to become siblings, and their budding romance was suddenly thrown into turmoil. Unable to bear the weight of the revelation, Emma turned and ran away, her heart heavy with confusion and despair. James, realizing what had happened, chased after her, calling out her name in desperation. Emma, wait! Please don't go! James pleaded, his heart racing with panic. Meanwhile, Evelyn turned to Benjamin, her eyes filled with tears. Benjamin, we have to talk. This situation is much bigger than we thought, she confessed, her voice trembling with emotion. Benjamin's heart sank as he realized the implications of their children's budding romance. You are right, Evelyn. We need to find a way to fix this, he replied, his voice filled with determination. As James caught up with Emma, he pulled her into his arms, holding her close as she cried, Emma, I know this is difficult, but we'll find a way to get through this together, he whispered, his voice filled with reassurance. Emma buried her face in James' chest, finding solace in his embrace. But James, if our parents are together, that makes us siblings. It means we can't be together, she cried, her heart breaking at the thought of losing him. James gently wiped away her tears, his heart aching at the pain in her eyes. I know, Emma, but love will always find a way. We'll figure this out together. I promise, he vowed, his voice filled with determination. As night fell and the stars twinkled in the sky, Evelyn mustered the courage to have a heartfelt conversation with her daughter Emma. With a heavy heart, she approached Emma's room, her mind filled with a mix of sorrows. Emma, can we talk? Evelyn asked, her voice tinged with sadness. Emma looked up from her bed, her eyes glistening with tears. Of course, Mom. What's on your mind? She replied, her voice filled with concern. Evelyn took a deep breath, her heart racing with uncertainty. Emma, I need to tell you something. I wasn't aware that I was falling in love with James' father, Benjamin. If I had known, I wouldn't have let things progress this far, she confessed, her voice trembling with emotion. Emma's heart sank at her mother's words, her mind swelling with confusion and despair. Mom, it's not your fault. I don't blame you for anything, she reassured, her voice filled with love and understanding. Evelyn wrapped her arms around Emma, holding her close as they cried together. I just want you to be happy, Emma. I don't want my feelings to cause you any pain, she whispered, her voice filled with regret. Emma hugged her mother tightly, feeling a surge of love and gratitude for her selflessness. Mom, please don't blame yourself. I want you to be happy too, even if it means sacrificing my own happiness, she replied, her voice filled with determination. At Benjamin's house, James found himself grappling with his own inner turmoil. With a heavy heart, he approached his father, his mind weighed down by the weight of their family's complicated situation. Dad, we need to talk, James began, his voice tinged with sadness. Benjamin looked up from his desk, concern etched on his face. What's wrong, James? You seemed worried, he remarked, his voice filled with compassion. James took a deep breath, summoning the courage to voice his feelings. Dad, I have decided to end my relationship with Emma. I can't bear to see you unhappy because of me, he confessed, his heart heavy with guilt. Benjamin's heart swelled with pride at his son's selflessness, but he couldn't bear to see James sacrifice his own happiness for their sake. James, I appreciate your concern, but you shouldn't have to give up your happiness for mine. If you truly love Emma, you should stay with her. He replied, his voice filled with love and understanding. But James shook his head, his resolve unwavering. Dad, your happiness is my priority. I can't bear to see you suffer because of me, he insisted, his voice filled with determination. Days passed, and the weight of their intertwined destinies hung heavy on Benjamin's heart. Unable to bear the burden of his secret any longer, he summoned Evelyn and her daughter Emma for a meeting at their home. As they entered the house, they found Benjamin and James waiting for them, their faces etched with solemnity. Thank you for coming, Evelyn and Emma, Benjamin began, his voice tinged with emotion. I have called you here because there is something I need to tell you. Evelyn's heart skipped a beat as she exchanged a worried glance with Emma. What is it, Benjamin? Is everything okay? She asked, her voice filled with concern. Benjamin took a deep breath, steeling himself for what was to come. I need to apologize to you all for keeping a crucial secret, he confessed, his voice trembling with regret. He handed Evelyn a piece of paper, tears welling up in his eyes. I have been diagnosed with cancer, and the prognosis isn't good. I'm sorry for not telling you sooner, he admitted, his voice breaking with emotion. Evelyn's hands shook as she glanced at the paper, tears streaming down her cheeks. Oh, Benjamin, I had no idea, she whispered, her voice filled with sadness. James' heart shattered into a million pieces at his father's revelation. Why didn't you tell us, Dad? We could have helped you, he cried, his voice filled with anguish. Benjamin bowed his head, overcome with guilt and remorse. I didn't want to burden you with my illness, James. I thought I could handle it on my own, he confessed, his voice filled with regret. But James couldn't bear to see his father suffer alone. With tears in his eyes, he embraced Benjamin tightly, whispering words of love and forgiveness. I'm here for you, Dad. We'll get through this together, he vowed, his heart heavy with sorrow. As they stood together in a tender embrace, Emma joined them, her heart overflowing with love and compassion. We are here for you. You didn't have to face this alone, she whispered, her voice filled with determination. And so, in the days that followed, Evelyn stood by Benjamin's side, offering him love and support as he battled his illness with courage and dignity. Despite their pain and sorrow, they found solace in each other's presence, cherishing every precious moment they shared together. But as Benjamin's health declined, they knew that their time together was limited. And on a quiet morning, surrounded by his loved ones, after talking to them and handing James over to Evelyn and also blessing Emma and James, Benjamin breathed his last breath, his soul finally finding peace. As they gathered to say their final goodbyes, James, Emma, and Evelyn clung to each other for comfort, their hearts heavy with grief and loss. But amidst their tears, they found strength in their shared love and memories, knowing that Benjamin would always be with them in spirit. And so, as they laid Benjamin to rest, Evelyn, James, and Emma made a solemn vow to honor his memory and carry on his legacy. Together, they took on the responsibility of running his company, working tirelessly to ensure that his vision and values lived on. Evelyn played the role of a mother and father for both Emma and James. Years passed, and as Emma and James stood at the altar, exchanging vows of love and devotion, they knew that Benjamin was smiling down on them from heaven above. With Rita by Emma's side, they celebrated their union, surrounded by the love and support of their family and friends. And as they welcomed their son into the world, Evelyn beamed with pride and joy, knowing that Benjamin's legacy would live on through the generations to come. For in the end, it was the power and love and family that triumphed over adversity, lighting the way for a future filled with hope, happiness, and endless possibilities. The story of Emma, James, Benjamin, and Evelyn teaches us an important lesson. What will be, and love triumphs over all obstacles. Despite unexpected twists and turns, their love for each other remained unwavering. Benjamin's illness and the revelation of their intertwined destinies could have torn them apart, but instead, they chose to face challenges together with love and courage. This story reminds us that life is unpredictable and we cannot control every outcome. However, by embracing love and supporting each other through life's trials, we can find strength and happiness. Love has the power to overcome any obstacle and bring joy even in the darkest times. So, let's cherish the love we have for each other and trust that no matter what challenges come our way, love will always prevail in the end. Thank you for watching this amazing story about Emma and James on African Stories. If you liked it and felt inspired with their journey, please show your support by clicking the like button, sharing with your friends, and leaving a comment below. To see more interesting stories and learn about different cultures, subscribe to African Stories and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Your support means a lot and helps us bring more stories to you. Until we meet again, stay connected, stay inspired, and keep smiling.